But, Ethan, the first thing on the docket today, this is the biggest news. And the fact we've gone 5 minutes into the episode without talking about it is, I mean, I kind of feel a little bit bad. Because as he says in the comments, Victor Wembanyama, officially first rookie in NBA history to be named to the all-defensive first team. And I know this is about Victor, but want to give a shout out to former Spur Derek White, making the second team all-defense team as well. Love to see him in there also. But what is your reaction to Victor Wembanyama being named to the all-defensive first team and the first rookie in NBA history to do so with guys like Tim Duncan and David Robinson? There's some other names I'm forgetting, but of course those two pop into my mind first. Those were guys who had really stellar rookie defensive seasons, and they were second team.
Right. Look, I don't want to downplay it by any means, but I feel like it was pretty much a guarantee, considering how prolific he was as a rookie. Like, sure, rookie year, like maybe you get a little less leeway as far as like the political aspect of being voted to a first or second team All NBA. But I mean, it was between him and Rudy Gobert for defensive player of the year all season long. And what he was able to do individually, statistically, with his 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 block games, the number of steals that he was able to get from the center position, the incredible stat lines, and the difference between how the Spurs' defensive identity looked with him on the court versus without. Like, I think you'd have a hard time finding someone who would say that he was not the best defensive player individually in the league. So big congrats to him. It is crazy that he was the first rookie to make All-NBA first team, but again, I'm not at all surprised. He was extremely deserving, and he has an extremely bright future. Several Defensive Player of the Year awards coming his way down the line.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered it to a T there, Ethan. But the one last thing that I'll say is similar to the Rookie of the Year in the sense that it's kind of expected. Like this isn't necessarily a surprise, as you and I watched him all season long, and even to people around the league, this isn't something that's like going to be like, oh, why is he first team or anything like that. This is like a unanimous thing, that everybody kind of agrees upon. But still, this was just like the Rookie of the Year, where we expected that, and that was unanimous. To hear it happen, and then to hear afterwards, like to have it really sink in that he's the first rookie ever to do this, and you see some of the other names on the list. I only mentioned the other former Spurs. Let me go ahead and look up some of the other names because I don't want to just keep it completely Spurs here. The tweet is loading as we speak. Manute Bol, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, that's why I wanted to mention other names.
It's extremely impressive, and it's just the first, or I guess you could say second tick in his resume for why he's going to be a future all-time great and pinnacle Spurs player.
Yeah, absolutely. Alejandro Morales, an SSPN OG, we see you in here all the time. He says, would you rather have Wemby win Defensive Player of the Year or first team? What's your answer, Ethan?
First team defense or first team All-NBA?
I assume I would say, here, well, you can tell us in the comments, but for the sake of this, I'm pretty sure he's talking about defensive first team.
I mean, Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't think you win that and then don't get on the first team All-NBA defensive team. But just for him, I feel like winning Defensive Player of the Year would mean a little bit more.
Yeah, and Alejandro does confirm. And I completely agree with you. Honestly, to me, I mean, I don't really think that there's a situation where that happens. Like if you win Defensive Player of the Year, you're going to be first team. But in, the hypothetical scenario world that we can have on SSPN, Ethan, I completely would say Defensive Player of the Year for sure.
Thank you. I concur.
Well, Ethan, any final thoughts on Wemby being named to first team all defense?
It's the beginning of an extremely bright future.